Slide this down. Use my new camera mount. Alright. Windscreen. Whole thing with my DJI. Gonna take the dog out for a walk. See if this DJI works better. Hopefully it does. Hopefully. That's what we got. Hopefully Dokalies here, folks. The Focarinos are what they are. We got the hopefully Dokalies. Yeah. Alright. Turn down that. It says it's 55 out today. It's 3:05 apparently. It's not. It's not 3:05. The clock in here is like 7 minutes fast. This whole thing. It always goes fast. I started off at the correct time. It's 7 minutes already. It's been a couple years. This whole thing. Got a slight bit of traffic today, folks. Just hit it perfectly. Almost never get traffic. Cameras out, traffic. That's how it works. It's just what it is every time, no matter what. Everybody's gotta see traffic guy. I'm sure Doggo has some here. And here probably. It's gonna be terrible, yes. As I never even look at for long durations of time forward. Just in any direction and know what's happening. I love the knobs not there, you know. Or even on my steering wheel. No, that's clearly a lie. Clearly don't. I want that to be there. That'd be much nicer. Maybe one day I'll 3D print some for steering wheels. Those around the sides or something. Yeah, hooks onto the dash some way. Make sure it like stay where the steering wheel is. Get all that. Be strong. And then like sort of just actually have those electrical connections to where the knobs are supposed to be. Whole thing. It'd be nice. Probably not going to do that. This is a black Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. And it's higher altitude, so there's a good amount of UV that still happens here through windows pretty quickly. And then on top of that, not so crazily enough, shocker, who would have thought, there's still some heat. So, you know, PLA is not going to do it, the PETG is not going to do it. That's now polypropylene shit, and it's like $60 a kilogram, which is not cheap at all. Like PLA, I think is like $20 a kilogram or something like that. So like not cheap. It's like 3 times the amount. So, that recycling would be nice. It's just too bad nobody really wants to do it because they don't want to involve vacuum chambers or anything like that. I don't know why. Grinding it down, it's like really annoying because it gets all sticky and like it's just melt it in a vacuum chamber and squish it and then roll it. That's all you have to do. Then it turns into pellets. Why is this hard? At all for you to come up? It's not. You have a vacuum pump. You have a vacuum pipe. You can get one of those plates that warm up. You've got like, what, 3D printer that can get a board up to it. You don't give a shit about it not being able to do this if it's damaged. Yeah, that kind of thing. So you got a couple of things. You might even have like coils from like a stove, like electric heating element. Maybe a space heater from like, home perhaps. Maybe you just bought something for this. Then you got like a sheet of steel or a plate of steel, some tiny guy just moved it in the vacuum, pressed it, squished her down, made them all melt together. Now under a vacuum. Or you can vibrate, of course, the plates just a little bit. Any sharper, just punches you really quickly. Probably the right one. Kind of used for that sort of thing. So this kind of removes the air bubbles as you do that, as you lift it away slightly. So there's that. Then it's like all you have to do is just spin it. So just rotate the plate, thing that attaches to it. Not bolts here. You don't want to use bolts. Just attach it along the sides. Just like grab it on the four corners and rotate it. You don't have to reinvent things, you know what I mean? So it's fine, it just needs to stay put. We're not putting that immense of a load here on anything. It's got to get warm. It's got to get to the point where it's going to stick together. That's it. And you just have to rotate it. Sheet is what I suggested at first because it's like, well, like a plate, you have to get out the old Dremel or rotary tool and do this. But with sheet, you just have to like get a tiny little hammer and just hammer away with like a chisel. Just got to make some concentric circles. Okay, have like a mirror to that. Or asymmetric, whatever it is, the one that fits in, offset gears, whichever way you want to think about it, they're all the same thing after a while. What has to be done is that helps you to remove air too, while then allowing for, as you rotate it, pellets to form. You just got to make sure to give it this amount of distance, whatever that is, as you rotate it, that allows you to rotate it for it to roll onto itself like, pizza dough or something. Any number of these dough balls, basically, is what you're aiming for. Maybe you have to plate those 2 sheets of steel here, because it might stick to them. So it's like, you forgot to wash them. Alright, well, dumb move, okay? So get out your isopropyl. Alright, you're gonna get out the cotton balls, cotton swabs. Alright. You don't need to shine it very much, but you're gonna get out your CLR. Or any number of ones that really kind of get rid of your rust. Alright. And that's it. Except it's gonna rust again. So it's like you did this in such a way that you're now gonna boil all of this in your vacuum pot. You're gonna leave it there. That's right. You're going to have to just leave it there. Every single bit of anything you might do from this point over again. So we're going to electrify it now. That's right. The plate, because you just did shit to it, needs to get hot, needs to get rid of that surface area content, isopropyl, which is still the residue, let alone all the cotton swabs here you also just put on there. So that means you give it a negative charge, you kind of DC voltage this fucker down, alright? And then you're going to basically do the opposite to something else. That way it gets electrostatically attracted to that thing, and then you're going to take that energy. Pretty simple stuff. Or you can leave it there for the remainder of whatever you might be doing, because it's now very clean. Everything is very, very clean as a result of you having done that. So, if you do that, then it shouldn't stick. most of the way there, kind of, to most kind of plastics. It's, the plastic will leave a slight sugary residue, and the rest of it's going to still, dope all up. But, there's a way to get around that with, like, just good old-fashioned electroplating, or even, like, electrolysis plating, like nickel boron nitride, is really, really good. To plate on sheet steel. It's actually really non-stick too. So, then you can also do other things, like there's allotropes of carbon, tungstens, just straight nickel, silicon carbide. All of those are really good options. Okay? Really decently good options. You can pay attention and not drift off, bitch. What is this mountain? It just slowly started. Just imagine you fucking. That was you in class. Hey, wake up, student Baka. That's just you, just laughing like that, like you and then that's you too. Moving forward, of course. Just gonna give this just a little bit more darkness. Allow darkness. See if we can get this to work the way I need it to. That's right. I got one of those little lens guys, that can move for stoppages. It's supposed to make the color more accurate and natural. It's just nice too. It has some purple fringe sometimes, so it's a whole thing. If you hit the wrong angle, you have to make sure to move it. It's a whole thing, yeah. But like it's better outright. Like it's way better than the digital. I'll tell you that fucking much. Like it's just a camera. It's just a phone camera. Yeah, I know. Well, they gave us better accurate controls to this fucker. I'd fucking be able to design a better fucking app outright. These things are not slouches. They are really decently strong little single compute onboard unit fucking. They have graphics processing units. They have the ability to do a lot more with this multiple sensor array that they can just stick together and compile into one. Like a telephoto with an ultra wide with the normal is really good for like immediate lenticulars, which then if you can get just a basic add-on to like your front facing, then like that also can be added in through just simple fiber optics and mirrors, right? But like you're gonna need that anyways from a single point lens. So like you get the whole lens in the rear like a Fresnel, right? Except that's big and chunky. So instead you get a bunch of these little sheets and you taper them down to the spot that you kind of need it to be at. That makes it a lot smaller and more compact. You can basically get a holographic, like these nice little reflectors on the surface of things. Like you can just get a couple of plates and you only need like a little bit of electricity, really just a magnet and some piezoelectrics. So that way with in the air or vacuum, you can use the vibrations to increase enough electricity there for these little itty bitty light emittance effect, cascade amplification effect. So they just keep the actual natural wavelength, they just add to it. Right? So they're capable of even being used on these small scales for lasers and chips that I designed that use them architecturally. But that's not getting into things. It's just saying that is a thing you could do. What you probably will end up doing is just getting a slightly larger, just dome that just a little bit larger, right? And then like a battery that you can just charge every so often. That's probably all that will be. And I'll give you a nice case. You get the general gist. Is what likely will happen. But you can compactify the shit out of this fucker. So small, so tiny. Look at it. It's like, I'm a pinhole. Look how many pinholes I have. All I need is a bunch of little itty bitty Oh, they're so flat. Are they? Are they flat? Oh, you mean fiber optic pinholes? But don't worry, it means it's slightly thicker than it should normally be. But I needed that anyways because I needed some reflection and then the diffusal, then into capture of a taper fiber optic to and or whatever version that needs to be. But that's a whole other thing because that's really easily resin 3D printable. Should have wanted to get this. I've been wanting to do this thing for a while. I haven't even gotten to printing the first stuff that I wanted to print. I've already scope creeped beyond your imagination. I have a creation level 3D printer. I can create actual universe, bespoke fundamental forces. Yes! It's a plan in the motion. But we'll get that eventually, baby. At the very least, all the physics check out. All the ways to go about it. If we can get there, check out. So, Bayesian logic dictates that there's a way eventually, unless we're just horribly wrong about a lot of things. Which is possible. I doubt it, though. You know, like that, like all of it, come on, man. Like, all of it would have to be wrong. You know, like, it's just, it's not tracking. I'm not seeing it. It's not working. So, anyways. But, yeah. I don't know. You know, it's a thing, right? Like, you could do that. Just get, like, a basic lens like that. Yeah, just get PCB-Way or any of the other ones that JLCP, Xometry might do PCBs. You know, the American companies definitely want a shot. Okay, you know, like, guys, hey, yeah. You can buy, like, 3D printed shit from here in America, too. Okay, you know, not subject to the tariffs. You don't have to do that. It's more expensive, well, then you're going to pay that amount anyway, so might as well go for it, you know. They did that, so why not give them a shot? Just a little, you know what I mean? This fucker moved too much. Just wanted to get that shock mount one. It was like $150. It's probably worth it though. It's the problem. For me, especially, yeah. Like, hey, if I can get like a mass dampener bottom hook up, just have to. That's all I really kind of needed to do. I just need to get the bottom kind of mass spring dampener below as a ball. That's all that would really be. I forgot I did this for a reason. Yeah. No, I already had my dog go poop. So, and urinates before. We are to drive to a spot where we can enjoy ourselves. It's going to be a thing. We are very cruel people. Cruel. We do a lot of cruel things. Like drive up to the tops of mountains, wander around, find random shit to do. You know, it's very, very special, amazing, awesome. I don't know. Some people just want to go along for a ride, and maybe you can be less of a dick about it. How about that one? Maybe nothing to say that's nice. Remember that old saying, shut the fuck up? Remember that one? I remember something like that being said at one point. Hey there, dear. Yo. Yeah. You didn't see that one? No, I did. I didn't hit a single limit. What is this about? I see not all, but I see way more than any of you. And that seems to make you really annoyed. Treat yourself like fuck you, that you need a little help every so often from us. No, that's kind of like a good thing. For like, why would you fucking make it so you would never meet anyone? You'd never have bonding, never have any of the fun, friends, socialization. Like a lot of things that make it so humans ever existed, you know? Like they really wouldn't have lasted if they didn't do that thing where we like work together or shit, man, you know what I mean? Kind of a thing. Just saying, dude. Alright, yeah, well, you know, it's oh yeah, alright, yeah, well, just pull over here, this guy. Get around. Yeah, alright. Yeah, sorry about that, dude. Yeah, no, I could totally just like focus more on this. So I'm gonna do that. Just be on the side of the road, some other dude in front of me, because like that's like the right thing to do here. Oh, is this now just hard packed ice? Yeah, see, like that's kind of what that is. It's like, no, it's supposed to have melted. I remember not being able to get up here further at one point, and I went, oh yes, no, well, it should have melted by this point. Even after I aired down my tires, it was never going to happen. I needed the all-wheel drive. So what that turned into, just what it is, folks. Most of the damn time in here, this is honestly fine. And some people would probably say that they probably could have gotten it done, and that might be genuinely the case. But, you know, I gotta tell you, the front-wheel drive nonsense here is what it is. Could have aired them down a little harder, probably like 10. I tend to air up the rear tires just because it makes it more safer, I would say, to like kind of try and shove that, you know, kind of front tire grip into the road as best I can and get to it. I kind of have to get you don't understand. You don't have a way around it. It's the whole thing. Just parked here. I'm gonna just stay over here in the dirt so I can launch. It's gonna be nice. Feel it. You know, I was planning on bringing like my new IEMs. They're the Semgot ET142s. They're really good with the IFI CAN V2 amp. Or no, is it the Zen V2? Zen V2. That's right. It's a DAC amp. And it's a boost bass. Yeah, a bass boost, really. You know what I mean? It says true bass, but like it's really just a bass boost and a power match. I got a topping L50, and it really needs it with them, because like they're really just gonna turn into whatever it seems like your amp might do. And so the topping L50 like turns things more neutral, right? Like just trends it that way. So you just have to automatically bump things up on the way in. So it's like, it's kind of rough, but it works, and it fucking, like, it just has a really damn good planar driver that just shits on things when you can give it enough bass. So there's that. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make it up this. I'm gonna be honest, this is where it fucking stalled out before. I'm gonna have to turn around Yeah. There's even that. If it's gonna start sliding on me that hard already. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna head back down myself. Like, nah, it's fine. Yeah, no, they're pulling some guy out. Clearly. Yeah. Me. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of where this happened last time. It's the whole thing. It's my bad, you know. I just gotta get through. This is mighty awkward in no way. How things go sometimes. Like, actually. Sorry, dude. I really wouldn't be able to pull you out. Oh. Like, I was like, man, I would really. There's another guy up there, too. Talking with the Jeep, dude. Thought this guy was gonna help him out. Yeah, with his ginormous truck. He pulled around and he's just driving down. He's just continuing to drive down. So I don't know what that's about, for what it's worth. Maybe he thought I had the guy. I'm like, there's no fucking way I have this guy. You have a big ass truck. I have a tiny little mini. It's literally sold as a subcompact SUV. This is a K car that's masquerading as if it's not. This is what this is. It has all the ability to get turned into like a beast of a K car. It has a nice all-wheel drive and like good fat tires and a little bit of lift. I don't have that money over that time, so like that's just sort of what it is. But like, you know, this would not be able to pull that guy out as it stands now. So like that's just what that is. Well, nothing like slipping and sliding. Down the mountains I go. Having to air down your tires. It works, you know, pretty decently well too. Up to a point. Yeah, like these. It's. I have a way to get back, maybe. You know what I mean? So like, nah, I'm good. It's not really. It's like it doesn't even get 150. Like brand fucking spanking new is doing 149. You know. So like, around here, yeah, and like no, it just doesn't. It needs more power. It just does, and it has a CVT, which basically means for off-roading a lot of the ways. They can just through things. I mean, they'll do it, but like it's worth it to just get like a Rally R Evo with the 4B11T. You know, semi-automatic transmission. It's worth it for what it's worth. Get a little lift, give it a bigger, just outright, get the right offset too for those wheels. But that's the thing, you're gonna get closer to zero offset. Right, so it's like, how big and wide do you want to go? You know, because it's gonna be needing some fenders here. You're gonna need to flare those fuckers out. You know, it's a bit of a thing. It's a bit of a thing. Doable, totally a thing though. It's doable. I'm hearing like I could cut this and then just drill here and then just put some polyamide with some truck bed liner on the outside of it after sweating it closed. A little annealment. You know what I mean? Some quartz, sand, right, to the 3D print. And the truck bed liner will make sure it lasts a pretty long time. Now polyamide is, you know, like one of the stronger nylons. It's nylon, just like multiple of them mixed together, basically. So it's a thing. It's called Ultra PA by Kitty. It's the one I have. I'd be able to do it. I'd be able to put them together. Yeah, I get a, heated insert. I have to use stainless steel just because I want to. Not because I have to. It's because I want to. I'm an over-engineer sometimes. I just am, but like, fuck this, get the steel inserts. I'll just fucking, pop rib nut, that fucking guy, and just squeeze her down. Fucking bolt her on, why not? Fuck it. Put like a little TPU and a little polyamide. That way it'll like, hide the blemish of the sharp edges here. And then just like keep on the outside like a real nice looking fender. Probably put some silicone or some shit to make sure it stays good for a long while. You know what I mean? We don't want any of that nasty, gunky, salt, road rust shit up in there. We don't want that, so you gotta make sure to get rid of that. And by filling that fucker in the right way. We should do it now. I'll write fiberglass, because like Bondo and truck bed the whole thing underneath, because fuck it, why not? Let's do a party, folks. We need to get rid of all the salt fucking problems anyways, so let's do it. It's the way to go about it, man. Let's get out that clear. Let's go. Let's get out the wrap if we could even do it. That way it's sacrificial all the way down. I get out my fiberglass. Sacrificial, I just wait that bitch. It looks like it's not even there. Put in my quartz. My quartz fucking goddamn granules. Granules of sand, quartz, just all the way down. Because of course, why would... That'd be hilarious. Is that like just a fucking... fuck you, sacrificial. Look at this. Oh, my wrap will have to go first before you can even get to my quartz. Get right, noob. Then you have to get my truck bed liner. Get fucking wrecked, just full stunted on. Because, like, why wouldn't you, right? Like, go fucking... Why not just do this? You live there anyways. Go, it's fucking... Do you even understand? Ah! My God! Yeah! You can help a brother out, man. Fucking that should be not that expensive probably, but like at least a little bit. Some amount more than doing nothing and not even trying. I plan on just getting a new one anyways. Fuck you! It's a whole thing, yeah. So it's like, it is, unfortunately, a little bit like that for them. It's gotta be, like, because of course they would just fucking line that fucker up, right? Like, why wouldn't you? Just line it up with as many layers and you just go like, fuck, there's just a section I have to fucking repair out. The rest of it, oh, I didn't have to go that hard at all over there. I was never going to have those problems. I really just need to go hard here. And so this is the thing with survivorship bias, right? Like, all the rest of it worked. It's like, no. The places where you realize that that's a thing that's like that, yeah, that's where you got to upgrade. So it's like this, everywhere else, that will work for it like that there, I guess, or if it even needs it, right? Then we go to, like, now we have tungsten that we can plate. Yeah, tungsten. We have silicon carbides and boron nitrides, very hard metals and materials, ceramics specifically, right? And they are really able to be plated on a bunch of quartz and even underneath a wrap. That's a thing. If you don't know about that, you should really let me come around here. I'm gonna get a steel plate for you. And I'm gonna plate this fucker with fuck tons of layers of fucking hard ass shit that's very unreactive to salt and more. I'm just gonna put it right there. And it's like, don't worry about it. Make sure it doesn't fuck around and drop. That's what it really mostly is. So it's like bolt her on, make sure to use, like some braze welds, maybe, I don't know. Stop like fucking around, maybe get like $200 Get like one of those spot welders. Yeah, because you're probably not like a welder. Like, be realistic. Get some, you know, like some realism here yourself. Like, maybe get JB Weld and then fill it in with like plated steel, right? Because that would work with your forms, okay? And it's like, don't worry. Now you have layers. The layers, it'll work. It's gonna work, okay? You gotta work it out, okay? Like, it's gonna take some time, right? So it's like, all right, that's good. It just needs to not be in a place where if it flexes, it can't flex. It's one of the reasons why JB Weld doesn't work on your springs and shocks, because like this won't work very well. You want to put a bag around those fuckers, otherwise known as like, you know, this cylinder in like TPU. You know, that way you can go boom, 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 and scrunch. You know what I mean? And then you put like this other thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. It's called fiberglass sheet around your cylinder that also covers your shock. If you got the room to be fair, that's true. The point is, though, yeah, just like, you gotta do the thing. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta do the thing. So it's like, the thing is, you gotta do it up. You gotta think about it a little bit. So it's like, if you're gonna do that, like, whoa, all right, you're plating that. You put this over, you do the whole thing. So that way it moves. But it's like, hey, fiber, like carbon fiber and that fiberglass would work for your shocks for what it's worth. And you can plate around that by simply just putting a bag around that. Yeah. I mean, a bag might be difficult. I don't know. It really depends, right? So I don't know which one would be the right one for you. It could be that you just need to get like a little aquarium cylinder dude and just stick that fucker together with like one of those little, you know, syringe acrylic weld them together things, you know what I mean? Like, just anything that works well and fast, yeah. And then we'll get the job done, because you just need a plate onto the fiber and the shock itself. And then from there, it's like, you can get some of the resin to harden in the right kind of way and layers, so that way as it flexes, which means like resin isn't fully curing. That's what that's about. But you're plating and you have a bunch of fiber as part of that. So the resin, because it's not fully cured, doesn't become fully hard. Now that allows for it to become more flexible. And but it's still decently darn strong, especially when you have fiber and you're plating together. And as a result of that, like, you can get away with a lot on those springs. Okay? And it really reduces the amount of possible rust over time that you might have. And then you just got to get into like the fighting argument with yourself, where it's like, well, if I do this with the steel and everything, yeah, but it might need it, because those are like one of those things that just go. It's like, fuck, yeah. So, yeah, but it's gonna be worth it when you need it and not when you don't. I mean, how much you budgeting? Right? Like, you're gonna replace it anyways, and they're gonna do it for you. Right? Yeah. But it's, you know, see, here's the thing with the trusting of them. Not everyone, but you have that money then? Are you sure that won't ultimately have a failure beforehand? Like, hardware and tear over time does get onto your budget on that one over time. It can really make that possible future more anxiety and distress provoking as a thought possibility. So it's a thing. And peace of mind means a very small amount can go a long way. This is like lifetime of vehicle levels. Like, it's pristine because you get it up. This is what I'm talking about here. You know? But, do you need that? Yeah. If it's yours and you love it, all that, yeah, you do. You need something like that. It's just what it is. But for the rest of us, it's like, I'll spray it with some bad layer, y'all. Let's see what happens. Let's go. let's get some like plates. I can 3D print a couple of like sheets and then put them together. You know, you get the right like stainless steel. Oh yeah, you want stainless steel. Do they have to spring stainless steel? It's really expensive though. They have a really good spring stainless steel. I don't know if you know about this, but they do. That's very good when it comes down to salt. They developed it for nuclear reactors. Carol Hill did a video about it. That's the steel that they're developing. It can be used as a spring steel. As stainless steel spring steel. That just doesn't get corroded with salt. Or like most of your oxygen issues and abrasion is really pretty darn good, actually. It's probably really expensive. I never looked it up. I have not looked it up because it's like a fanciful idea. I get tungsten powder. You know what I mean? I can throw that shit into things, right? Like, it's all doable. Like a wash cycle of like getting rid of rust and a little ultrasonic cleaner in a vacuum. You know what I mean? Like just drain that off. Right? Like it's got to filter it off before it goes through vacuum pump. But right, it's all to play for. You know what I mean? It's suddenly realizing, yeah, I can plate tungsten onto steel. It massively, especially because I can heat up that steel, and I can make it stainless steel. I can do that. Like tungsten powder works really darn well for what it's worth as an add-on. For most of the things, if I need to go that hard, because it's basically pretty decently good mild steel or something under really high temperatures, what it looks like, just by itself. And you add this together in a vacuum, you don't need an ultrasonic cleaner anymore, you can just vacuum all that shit. But you do need to put a little bit of electricity through it, just because tungsten is that fucking crazy it seems. Yeah. But like that gives you an idea here of like where I go to. Like if I get a fiber, you know, outline, and then I just need the rough pieces ahead of time. So kind of like I'm building a skeleton frame that I'm filling it up with a bunch of fiber, and then from there I'm electroforming the whole thing onto that fiber. So carbon fiber works really well for that process because it's electrically conductive and pretty good thermally too for stuff like this. Yay! Italian tuna. That's how long it took me to get to the fucking speed limit. It kind of sucks like that. And, you know, to be fair, it's basically the same as it was before I got the tire change. I'm gonna be honest, these are really close. They're like a half inch to an inch circumference-wise bigger, you know, than the original stock 18 inches. Our rims, the ones that came on the rims, or the initial wheels, whatever. Point is, that's a thing. That makes it that they're really close. The contact patch is a little smaller, you know what I mean? It's pretty much the same gas mileage as it once was. Really, basically the same acceleration. So, and I've done what I could do by ripping out that damn plastic part in the front and then trying to shove like a silicone mat and kind of just ram here to the thing. Doesn't really work that wonderfully. But like anything is better in any way. Like if I could even get close to one, you know, sea level of mountains, like anything will work better than what I've got, or it was before. So, you know, and this car just feels it up here. It's not great. you know. But the point is that of course that makes it so it's a fiber reinforced plate, basically, that I can now tune using vibration, heat, electromagnetism, and a vacuum to get it to the right temperature and right arrangement of crystalline and polycrystalline and monocrystalline blocks to then make sure it's all one whole total together piece, making it lighter and stronger than normal. That means post-processing, for what it's worth, after a 3D print typically, and knowing chemistry, because nylon is just a string of carbon atoms together, basically, with a little thing on the end. There are a lot of ways to turn that into other allotropes of carbon. And that's really nice. So my fenders are like really cool super diamonds. They can flex, just never wear down. Yeah, I mean, they got tungsten allotrope together with diamonds and more fucking. See what I mean? They doubted my willingness to go that far. They were fucking sorely mistaken. I'm getting a plasma going up in this bitch one day, and that vacuum, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be done up, man. I'm gonna layer plasma down in a crucible that's literally just plated on armor, which basically means I can allotrope around it. You know, then it's like, hey, but the fiber didn't break down yet. The carbon fiber, the filament, sure, oh yeah, but that's fine. I wanted that. Now I can allotrope to my carbon fiber, make my carbon fiber even stronger fiber of a polymer diamond polycrystalline that metal interlaced throughout as a polymorphous polymer. So it's like it's polymorphous, but it just polymerizes that structure consistently. So it's a polystructure of this polymorphous state, which just means it's kind of random, like glasses, and then it has several of those, and then those several then repeat in a particular fashion. And that allows for it to become a polymer that's really strong. Way stronger than like diamond will be, and far better at bonding than handling higher temperatures and being a piezoelectric and a whole bunch more. Like a solenoid electric linear motor generator guy at one whole sleeve, you know, level of just shove it onto your single cylinder bike engine and make her ready. Like a 49cc with a slightly longer stroke, and it's 3 combustion chambers, and it runs with the torque converter hydraulic fluid ram guy. Oh wait, what is this also? There's 3 combustion chambers and triple the stroke length. That's right, folks, triple the stroke length. So go from the center, goes out, as it you think it'd be the exhaust stroke, just goes back to the outsides, right? So there's a valve in the piston head, which has been done before. Yeah. It's like, okay, that's good. So that works really easily. Nice stuff. It's like really easily. Yeah, actually it was done in the 1800s, so yeah, it's been done before. It's kind of old at this point. But like moving on, then from here we can have that from the outside go back towards the center and still have that exhaust open and still have that draw and scavenge for the outsides here as this thing that goes from the center back out, while then allowing for that, while that does this, intake on the outsides still coming out. That's a good scavenge technique through both those piston head valves, right? Along with towards that center exhaust valve being open, the intakes on the outside being open. So intakes on the outside is like a head and a bottom. You know, I mean, 2 halves to your cylinder sleeve. So pop-up valves will work. Now I use like rotating bearing rings, hydraulic fluid bearing rings. They're in 2 pieces just because they're easier and if they rotate, they're much easier to seal. So like that just makes it so I only need like, you know, one actual shaft, but it's really not. It's really the fluidic flow, because like the hydraulic fluid is a torque converter, right? So the press is like a hydraulic ram on one side, but there's a vacuum on this other side, the dumbbell that we gotta have here to do this. But it's like, all right, we just gotta make the flow of the fluid go around, up towards, and then back. So it's like here on either end, you have the one side that diverts it on towards the sides. Now those sides then get diverted up. Right, now we want that up so that way it can flow in behind more easily, but also get diverted towards either side. So that diversion, though, allows for this to run more smoothly and capture more, like a planetary gear set, if you will, of effectively turbine blades, a hydraulic fluid thing, yeah, which is cool, right? But it works. Okay, so like then it's the same thing. It presses it back, so it's an oscillation. It goes in, out, in, out. It just keeps using that to keep it flowing for those things the same direction. Now that just means that it's moving. Yeah, the fluid. You just have to get the valves to move that way, to work that way, for the flow to continue the same direction. This is what it is. Now, there's a bit of a tricky bit of business in the internal diameter here of a lot of those fluid channels that we have to get into. Channeling, dimpling, grooving. There's a bunch of we're trying to create the right ventilation and cavitation, so that way we can force a faster turn in breeder. It's built for this too, though, so instead of it ripping it apart, it actually sucks in more fluid from below and channels. So like there's cavitation, low vacuum head, and this groove and channel now suddenly can have all below in this little trough, all that fluid rapidly get shoved forward and then get me to skip up into that area. Now that gives you a latent frost ventilation that also gives you a resettling down into fluid again, but it does so by giving it a way to turn really hard. And on our blades here as well, that helps. So like all of this reduces frictional loss and increases the amount of gain for every stroke. Now, once that happens to be there, then you end up realizing that this has a lot of piezoelectricity in it, and it's dielectric fluid, hydraulic fluid, right? Which means it doesn't conduct electricity, okay? So, you can run electrical conductive wiring through the battery capacitor banks that you can set up with multiples of these as you plate them together. Now, as you do this, you form a forming of a total system here that then is far more capable than you think, as it's 90% return on that heat and stress, but then you also have the massively increased electrical efficiency here of a solenoid engine that also happens to be able to take out nitrogen oxide as a electron redox flow, so catalytic conversion through that piston head valve. Now that gives us more electricity through decomposition of the nitrogen oxide, so N2Os, alright? And that improves not just our efficiency, okay, but then our recapture rapidly for every stroke. Now, because there's 3, it's only 49 cc's. It means that we start off at a pretty high braking effective pressure initially, and then it cools off over time. We still have a super turbo. That means a supercharger and a turbo. They're just run off of a clutch. Okay, then there's a transmission for the supercharger.